Did you know that how you reheat your leftovers could be secretly impacting your health after 50? Research from the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition suggests that some foods in your refrigerator transform in surprising ways when warmed a second time, either becoming more nutritious or potentially harmful to your aging body. While most of us think nothing of popping yesterday's dinner in the microwave, certain common foods can undergo chemical changes when reheated that may affect your digestion, cardiovascular health, and even your joint mobility. As our bodies naturally change with age, these effects become increasingly important to understand. In my 3 decades as a nutritionist specializing in senior health, I've identified 4 foods that actually improve with reheating, becoming more beneficial for blood sugar control and gut health, and 4 others you should never reheat if you want to protect your well-being. The final food on each list might shock you. It's likely sitting in your kitchen right now. Before we explore these crucial food insights, I'd love to know where you're joining from today. Share your city in the comments below, and let's discover how making smarter choices with your leftovers could help maintain your health, energy, and independence for years to come. If this information helps you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more evidence-based health tips designed specifically for those of us in our golden years. Now let's explore the foods that actually improve with reheating, scientific breakthroughs that might change how you view those leftovers in your refrigerator and potentially transform your health after 50. 1. Oatmeal, your morning memory booster. Remember those unhurried mornings when breakfast wasn't just fuel, but a moment to savor? For many of us navigating our golden years, a warm bowl of oatmeal brings back those cherished memories. But here's something remarkable you might not know. When you reheat yesterday's oatmeal, it actually becomes healthier for your aging body. When cooked oats spend the night in your refrigerator, they undergo a fascinating transformation. The starches restructure themselves, creating what scientists call resistant starch, a type that resists digestion in your small intestine. When you warm that oatmeal the next morning, these beneficial starches remain intact, traveling to your gut where they nourish the good bacteria that protect your digestive health. Margaret, a spirited 72-year-old grandmother from Colorado, struggled for years with mid-morning energy crashes. "I'd have breakfast and feel fine, but by 10 a.m., it was like someone pulled my plug," she told me. Everything changed when she started making a large batch of oatmeal twice weekly, portioning it out, and reheating it each morning. "It's like I've discovered a new lease on life," she smiles. "I can actually keep up with my grandkids until lunchtime now." For those of us over 50 dealing with unpredictable blood sugar, and goodness knows that's many of us, reheated oatmeal is particularly valuable. The resistant starch creates a gentler, sustained release of energy, without the dramatic spikes and crashes that can leave us feeling foggy and fatigued. Want to maximize the benefits? Add a splash of milk or water before reheating gently. Then transform your bowl with a sprinkle of cinnamon for blood sugar control, a handful of blueberries for brain health, or a tablespoon of ground flaxseed for heart-protective omega-3s. For those mornings when arthritis makes cooking painful, having ready-to-reheat oatmeal is more than convenient. It's a practical way to ensure you're nourishing your body even when cooking feels challenging. What other morning ritual offers such a perfect blend of comfort, convenience, and improved health? But if oatmeal works wonders for your morning energy, wait until you discover what our next reheated food can do for those aching joints that remind you of every change in weather. 2. Vegetable soup, nature's anti-inflammatory medicine. Is there anything quite as comforting as a steaming bowl of homemade vegetable soup on a chilly afternoon? Here's a delightful secret that might surprise you. That day-old soup, gently reheated, isn't just convenient. It's actually more powerful medicine for your body than when freshly made. When vegetables simmer in broth and then rest overnight in your refrigerator, something magical happens. The plant cell walls continue to break down, releasing additional vitamins, minerals, and beneficial compounds into the surrounding liquid. Upon reheating, you're enjoying a more concentrated source of nutrition, particularly important when appetites naturally become more selective with age. James, a 78-year-old former high school coach with arthritis in both knees, discovered this by accident. "My daughter made me a big pot of vegetable soup with lots of garlic and herbs," he shares. "It was good the first day, but when I reheated it for lunch the next day, I noticed something curious. My usual morning stiffness wasn't quite so troublesome. After making reheated soup part of his routine, James found he could navigate his garden with greater ease. My knees still remind me they're there," he chuckles, "but they're not shouting at me like they used to." What's happening is remarkable. Anti-inflammatory compounds from ingredients like onions, garlic, carrots, and leafy greens become more bioavailable after the soup has rested and been reheated. For bodies that have traveled many miles through life, this gentle, natural support can make a noticeable difference in daily comfort. For optimal benefits, reheat your soup slowly rather than bringing it to a vigorous boil, which can break down delicate nutrients. Cover it loosely and stir halfway through for even heating. Safety matters too. Ensure it reaches at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, especially for those of us with naturally waning immune defenses. Betty, an 83-year-old widow living alone, maintains what she calls her Thursday soup tradition, making a big pot each Thursday that evolves throughout the week. By Saturday, it's reached its peak flavor, she says with a knowing smile. And if I'm feeling under the weather, it's better than anything from a pharmacy. Speaking of healing foods, our next reheated dish might seem humble, but it offers something remarkable for your digestive system and steady energy. Curious what ordinary grain becomes extraordinary when reheated. 3. Brown rice, the overlooked gut health champion. Brown rice often sits quietly on our plates, the humble backdrop to more colorful vegetables or flavorful proteins. Yet for those of us embracing our wisdom years, properly reheated brown rice might be one of the most powerful foods in your kitchen, though you'd never guess by looking at it. Unlike its refined white cousin, brown rice retains its outer bran and germ layers, where most of its nutritional treasures hide. These layers provide fiber, essential B vitamins, magnesium for muscle function, and selenium for immune support. But here's the fascinating part that most nutrition experts never mention. When brown rice is cooked, cooled in the refrigerator, and then reheated, its very structure changes in a way that dramatically benefits your aging body. Similar to oatmeal, cooling causes the starches in rice to reorganize into resistant starch, a form that behaves more like fiber than carbohydrate. This natural transformation lowers the glycemic impact, meaning your blood sugar rises more gently when you eat it. For the 60% of Americans over 65 managing blood sugar concerns, this difference is far from trivial. Robert, a 70-year-old retired postal worker with type 2 diabetes, was initially skeptical. "At my age, I've heard plenty of health claims," he admits. But after monitoring his blood sugar levels for 2 weeks comparing fresh versus reheated rice, the evidence was clear. "My numbers were noticeably better with the reheated rice, and I didn't get that afternoon slump that usually had me nodding off in my recliner." Beyond blood sugar benefits, the resistant starch in reheated brown rice helps maintain healthy cholesterol levels and improves calcium absorption, particularly important as bone density naturally decreases with passing years. It also supports regular digestive function, a blessing for anyone taking medications that might cause constipation. For perfect reheating, add a tablespoon of water to your refrigerated rice before warming it gently. This prevents dryness and ensures even heating. If using a microwave, cover the container with a damp paper towel and use medium power, stirring halfway through. For those with dental concerns or difficulty chewing, properly reheated brown rice achieves a softer texture while maintaining its nutritional integrity. A win-win for comfort and health. It's versatile too. Mix it with a soft boiled egg and steamed vegetables for lunch. Add it to soup for heartiness, or pair it with sautéed greens and salmon for dinner. Our fourth beneficial reheated food might surprise you even more. It's often considered a guilty pleasure, but when reheated properly, it becomes an unexpected ally for your health. Ready to discover which comfort food actually becomes healthier the second time around? 4. Pasta, the surprising blood sugar stabilizer. When you think of healthy foods, pasta probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. In fact, many of us have reluctantly reduced our pasta consumption over the years, missing those delicious Italian dishes we once enjoyed without a second thought. But recent research reveals something remarkable about this beloved comfort food. When cooked, cooled, and then reheated, pasta undergoes a transformation that can benefit your health in ways that fresh pasta simply cannot. Like oatmeal and brown rice, pasta contains starch that changes structure when cooled after cooking. This creates resistant starch, which behaves more like fiber than carbohydrate in your body. When you reheat previously cooled pasta, much of this resistant starch remains intact, resulting in a slower, gentler rise in blood sugar compared to freshly cooked pasta. A groundbreaking study from researchers in Italy, who know a thing or two about pasta, found that cooling and reheating pasta reduced its blood sugar impact by nearly 50% compared to freshly cooked pasta. For those of us noticing that our bodies handle carbohydrates differently than they did in our younger years, this finding is nothing short of revolutionary. Carol, a vibrant 67-year-old retired teacher and grandmother of 5, discovered this benefit through her own experience. "I always loved pasta, but had given it up because it made me so sleepy afterward," she explained while showing me photos of her grandchildren. "When I learned about reheating it, I was skeptical, but the difference is remarkable. I can enjoy my favorite spaghetti with fresh tomato sauce for lunch and still have energy to garden all afternoon." Beyond blood sugar benefits, the resistant starch in reheated pasta acts as a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in your gut that support digestive health, immune function, and even mood regulation. As we age and our digestive and immune systems naturally become less robust, this support becomes increasingly valuable. For maximum benefit, cook your pasta al dente. Slightly firm, initially. Rinse with cool water to stop the cooking process and refrigerate promptly. When reheating, add a splash of water to prevent dryness and warm gently either in a saucepan or microwave. For a complete meal, add sautéed vegetables and a modest portion of protein like salmon or chicken, using olive oil rather than heavy cream sauces. Now that we've explored foods that benefit from reheating, let's turn our attention to those that could potentially harm your health when warmed a second time. The first one might surprise you. It's a healthy food that becomes risky when reheated. Can you guess what it is? 1. Mushrooms. The hidden risk. Few people recognize. Mushrooms add wonderful earthy flavor and meaty texture to countless dishes. Fresh mushrooms offer impressive benefits. They're low in calories while providing essential nutrients like selenium, copper, and vitamin D that support immune function. But when it comes to reheating cooked mushrooms, there's a hidden danger that's particularly significant for those of us over 50. What makes mushrooms so tricky? They contain unique proteins that undergo significant changes during initial cooking. When reheated, especially if they weren't stored properly, these proteins can transform into compounds that older digestive systems struggle to process. Dr. Ellen Thompson, who specializes in geriatric nutrition at Boston Medical Center, explains, "As we age, our digestive enzymes naturally decrease by about 30%. This makes it harder to break down certain complex proteins, like those in reheated mushrooms, that a younger person might handle without issue." The porous structure of mushrooms creates another concern. Like tiny sponges, they absorb and hold moisture, creating an ideal environment for bacteria. When cooked mushrooms sit in your refrigerator and are later reheated, particularly if not heated thoroughly to 165 degrees Fahrenheit, bacteria that multiplied during storage can cause food poisoning. And let's be honest, our immune systems at 65 aren't quite what they were at 35. Helen, a vibrant 76-year-old grandmother from Cincinnati, learned this lesson the painful way. "I made my favorite mushroom pasta and saved some for lunch the next day," she recalls with a grimace. "By evening, I was violently ill. My doctor explained that at my age, that kind of food poisoning isn't just uncomfortable, it's potentially dangerous." Helen needed hospitalization for dehydration, a common complication when older adults experience food poisoning. Instead of risking your health, enjoy those delicious mushrooms when freshly cooked. If you find yourself with leftovers containing mushrooms, consider these safer alternatives. Repurpose them cold in a salad, add them to a fresh omelet rather than reheating separately, or simply plan to cook only what you'll eat in one sitting. Do you often cook with mushrooms? If so, have you noticed any digestive changes after reheating them? Our next food might surprise you even more. It's a breakfast staple that transforms in concerning ways when warmed a second time. 2. Eggs. From perfect protein to potential problem. Eggs truly are nutritional marvels, packed with high-quality protein, brain-boosting choline, and eye-protecting lutein. For those of us over 50, they're especially valuable. Affordable, easy to prepare, and gentle on aging teeth. But when it comes to reheating cooked eggs, this nutritional powerhouse can quickly become problematic. The proteins in eggs are remarkably delicate structures that undergo significant changes during cooking. The initial heating causes these proteins to denature, change their structure, in ways that make them digestible and nutritious. But when eggs are cooled and then reheated, the proteins undergo further structural changes, becoming tougher, more difficult to digest, and potentially irritating to senior digestive systems. Dr. Michael Reed, a gastroenterologist specializing in digestive health for older adults, has seen the consequences firsthand. Many of my patients in their 60s and 70s experience significant discomfort after consuming reheated eggs. Their digestive tracts are already more sensitive, and the altered proteins can trigger inflammation and discomfort that younger adults simply don't experience. Beyond digestibility concerns lurks a more serious issue. When eggs are reheated, especially at high temperatures or in the microwave, the cholesterol they contain can oxidize. This oxidized cholesterol is more likely to contribute to arterial inflammation and plaque formation than the cholesterol in freshly cooked eggs. For anyone already navigating heart health concerns, this additional risk is simply unnecessary. Ruth, an energetic 81-year-old from Portland who still tends her garden daily, shares her experience. "I used to make a big batch of scrambled eggs on Sunday and reheat portions throughout the week. I couldn't figure out why I was having stomach issues almost every day until my doctor asked about my eating habits. When I stopped reheating eggs, the problems disappeared within days. Now I enjoy them fresh each morning." Instead of reheating eggs, try these safer alternatives. Hard-boil several eggs at once and enjoy them cold from the refrigerator. They'll keep safely for up to a week. Make egg salad with previously boiled eggs, or cook smaller portions of fresh eggs when needed. If you have leftover dishes containing eggs like quiche or frittata, try enjoying them cold or at room temperature rather than reheating. Have you noticed any digestive changes after eating reheated eggs? Our next food might be the most shocking of all, a comfort food that secretly affects your blood sugar and energy levels when reheated. 3. White potatoes. The blood sugar roller coaster trigger. Few foods evoke comfort quite like potatoes. They remind us of family dinners, holiday gatherings, and simpler times. They're budget-friendly, filling, and wonderfully versatile. But when it comes to reheating white potatoes, this beloved comfort food becomes surprisingly problematic, especially for bodies that have journeyed past the half-century mark. Here's what happens. White potatoes are naturally high in starch that quickly converts to sugar in your body. When freshly cooked, they already have a moderately high glycemic index, raising blood sugar fairly rapidly. But something interesting occurs when potatoes are cooled and then reheated, particularly in a microwave. Their glycemic impact can actually increase further. For those managing diabetes, prediabetes, or insulin resistance, which becomes increasingly common after 50, this can create challenging blood sugar fluctuations. Dr. Susan Miller, an endocrinologist focusing on metabolic health in seniors, explains the significance. Many of my patients over 60 are surprised to learn that reheated potatoes can cause more dramatic blood sugar spikes than freshly cooked ones. These spikes are particularly stressful on aging blood vessels and often contribute to the afternoon fatigue many seniors experience after lunch. The concern extends beyond blood sugar. Reheating potatoes, especially those refrigerated for more than 24 hours, can allow growth of Bacillus cereus, a bacterium that produces heat-resistant toxins. These toxins aren't destroyed during reheating and can cause digestive distress that's particularly challenging for seniors with already sensitive systems. Thomas, a 79-year-old retired postal worker from Buffalo, noticed a troubling pattern. I kept feeling unusually tired and achy in the afternoons, especially in my joints. My doctor suggested tracking my meals alongside my symptoms for 2 weeks. The connection became clear. The days I ate leftover potatoes were consistently the days I felt worst. Instead of reheating white potatoes, consider these alternatives. Cook smaller portions to avoid leftovers. Enjoy leftover boiled potatoes cold in a salad with olive oil and herbs, or substitute sweet potatoes, which maintain more stable nutrition when reheated. What about you? Have you noticed changes in how you feel after eating reheated potatoes? Our final food might be the most surprising of all. It's something many people use daily without realizing the hidden dangers when it's reheated. 4. Vegetable oils. The silent inflammation trigger. That innocent bottle of vegetable oil in your pantry seems harmless enough. You use it for everything from morning eggs to dinner stir-fries. But when vegetable oils are heated, cooled, and reheated, as happens when you save and reheat leftovers cooked with oil, they undergo chemical changes that can significantly impact your health after 50. Polyunsaturated vegetable oils like corn, soybean, sunflower, and safflower oils contain fragile fatty acids that break down when exposed to high heat. When reheated, they can form harmful compounds called aldehydes and lipid peroxides. These compounds promote inflammation and oxidative stress throughout the body, particularly concerning for aging systems already navigating natural inflammatory processes. Dr. William Parker, a cardiologist specializing in preventive heart health, explains, "Many of my patients over 60 who experience joint pain, cognitive issues, or cardiovascular concerns don't realize that repeatedly heated vegetable oils could be contributing to their symptoms. These oxidized oils can directly damage blood vessel lining and promote systemic inflammation, adding unnecessary stress to aging systems. The connection to brain health deserves special attention. Recent research published in the Journal of Alzheimer's Disease suggests that consuming foods cooked in repeatedly heated oils may accelerate cognitive decline in older adults. For those of us determined to keep our minds sharp as we age, this finding warrants serious consideration. Janet, an active 65-year-old retired school principal, shares her experience. "I was careful about my diet in many ways, but never thought about reheating foods cooked in vegetable oils. I struggled with persistent joint pain and inflammation until my doctor suggested this connection. After changing how I handle leftovers, I noticed less stiffness and discomfort within weeks. It was truly eye-opening." Instead of reheating foods prepared with polyunsaturated vegetable oils, consider these approaches. Cook only what you'll eat in one sitting when using these oils. Use more stable fats like olive oil or avocado oil for dishes you plan to reheat. Try oil-free cooking methods like steaming or using small amounts of broth for sautéing, or reheat gently at lower temperatures when necessary.